Why is there a Pepsi on my balcony when quite a while back I swore off sodas? Because today's that anniversary. It's not only Labor Day, but it's a kind of funny anniversary, and there's a specific thing that happened that makes me remember this anniversary. So we're going to get into it here in a minute. Hey, Rambling Ted here. Today is not only Labor Day, it's the 50th anniversary of the day I drank my first soft drink in general, but specifically a Pepsi. We were a Pepsi family. You know, back then you were a Coke or Pepsi family. My mom was a Pepsi drinker. And anyway, I have a specific memory, so I decided to do some research, and about a month ago I found out it was coming up and that it was on Labor Day that this happened. 1975, so 50 years ago today. I was 8 years old, so I'm 58 years old. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside and I figured out a way to do this to make it a little simpler than me adding a bunch of graphics in and stuff. I'm just gonna kind of hook everything up to my big screen TV, and then I can point at stuff and make it a little easier. Not gonna be a long video. I wanted to go to Iowa to document this, but I was not able to pull it off, and I wish I was, but I wasn't. So anyway, let's go inside my little apartment and see why I remember this so well. Rambling Ted here. All right, got my reading glasses on so I can see. I'm a floating head over here. Anyway, I grew up in a place called Des Moines, Iowa, which is right there, pretty good sized city. I grew up in a section of Des Moines, a little unincorporated section in the northeast part of town called Norwoodville, which was, at that time, kind of a rough area. Wasn't the safest place to be all the time. A lot of fights. I saw gang fights there. Now it's nice, but it's not like it was then. It has become gentrified. So, anyway, there's Riverview Park, where I used to go a lot. It used to be a fun place. All right. That gives me a vantage point here. This is a Firestone tire plant, which is now the Bridgestone plant. So that right there would be, this right here would be Broadway, which leads to Norwoodville. So let's go down, 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 down. Keep going. Right here. Whoop. This would be, which is now Grandview Christian Elementary School. That was my elementary school when I was growing up. All right. So this would be the elementary school. My house was right across the street. Sorry about that. Right here. This was a little house I lived in Norwoodville when I was a kid. And let me go to 3D mode. And hopefully you can see how small this house is. Right there, 4580. Little bitty little house. It was behind this building right here, which was Mary's grocery store. I used to go over there and buy my mom cigarettes because you could do that back then, and buy groceries. She rented us our house, and she would allow us to have a tab, so we could actually have a tab at the store that she would add on to our rent. Let me go to Street View for you so you can see this. So there it is. That little house right there was my home as an elementary school aged child. On Labor Day, 1975 at 4 p.m., you have to understand, let me move you down a little bit for this. You have to understand that I was not allowed as a child. We did not drink sodas. That was a grown-up drink as far as my family was concerned. I didn't drink sodas. So I'm 8 years old, and I asked my mom, can I have a drink of your Pepsi? And my mom said for the first time ever, yes, you can have a drink of my Pepsi. Now, it was a Pepsi. Of course, it was a glass bottle back then. My mom loved the glass bottles, but I'm going to drink this Pepsi. Now, at the exact moment that Pepsi touched my lips. And I was a little nervous just then. At the very moment that Pepsi touched my lips, let me tell you, the world shook. Everything, the ground, everything shook. I dropped the Pepsi out of my hand. It shatters. Because there was a little, it may still be there, little concrete like slab patio type thing we were sitting out under. Because it was Labor Day. My dad was off work. We were celebrating. I'm sure he might have been cooking some hot dogs or something up. I can't remember. But we were out in the yard, you know. It was a nice summer day or fall day. September 1st up there is getting into fall. But everything shook. And I asked my mom, does that happen every time you drink a Pepsi? Because I had no idea. Well, that's not what caused the problem. That's not where the shaking of the ground came from. But this is the reason I remember the precise moment that I had my first Pepsi. But let me tell you what it was that happened. I'm going to zoom in a little closer on the screen. You don't need to see my head for this part. Okay, like I was saying, my house was right here. Zoom out a little bit, and on down Broadway, crossing underneath the freeway, which I'm not sure that was there when I was a kid. But anyway, keep going. Down here. Right here. Well, is it right there? No. Next one down. Right there. These two railroad tracks right here are indelibly implanted in my brain also, because there's a whoopty right there that you can actually hit this one fast enough and clear that one before you hit the ground. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. Anyway, right up here, zoom out. Now, this wasn't here then. I'm pretty sure this factory was here. But if you look right here, they cross underneath. They're calling that, it's 35 and 80, Interstate 80. Where they cross underneath right here, there is what's called a frog. And a frog is just where the train track jumps off. Well, there was a train coming down this way carrying tanks of propane. It hit that frog and derailed. Multiple explosions happened after the initial one, but it hit at exactly 4 o'clock, and I think it was 4:02 or something before they all exploded. But anyway, as you can see, that's just about a little over a mile and a half, I guess. Let's see if I can get it all in here. Yeah, you go from there where they derailed, right up there, to where I lived here. That's about a mile and a half, and it shook everything. Now, I don't think I can get a good view of where that happened on here. Let's see if we can street view it real fast. It's possible. See what happens. Hey, look, winner, winner. Chicken dinner at Cracker Barrel. All right. Yeah, you actually can see it kind of right there. You can see the frog jumping over this way and the track going straight that way. So, yeah, you can kind of see that. But yeah, so it derailed right there. It was a major thing. You can actually look up the NTSB report online and find it. It's actually pretty interesting. No one, luckily, was killed in this accident. I never knew that was called Swanwood. But yeah, that's how I remember first Pepsi I ever had. Now, might seem kind of strange to you, but it's part of my life. So anyway, that's a little bit about my youth as an 8-year-old and my first taste of Pepsi. I'll never forget it. It's a day that's burned into my brain, just like when people say that they remember the day JFK, the Challenger explosion. I remember when Ronald Reagan, the attempt on his life. All of those things that happen, you remember really well. And this is something that I remember really well just because of the shock of it. As soon as it couldn't have been timed better. As soon as I took a drink of that, my whole world shook. Luckily, like I said, no one was killed. Some people were seriously injured. There's a guy on a motorcycle that apparently I know some of his relatives, and he was injured. So mostly it was people on that bridge. Can you still see that at all? Probably not. But the bridge on the interstate bridge was right above where the train derailed. But the NTSB, I guess NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, did a major study on this to try and find out what caused it. They could not find any reason why it derailed there. There didn't seem to be anything amiss with the track or anything. But once it started, it was a chain reaction, and several tanks exploded. Firefighters went there to fight the fire, and they got pulled back by their supervisor and told just to let it go. It's too far. You can't do it. You're not going to be able to put this out. Liquid propane, when it starts going, it's a bomb. That's what they use in those bunker busters bombs and stuff. It's no fun. But anyway, little sad thing about my hometown, but 50th anniversary. So I'm sure the one I drank then had real sugar in it and was probably better for you than the whatever they have for a sweetener in this thing. Like I said, I've cut off. I hardly drink sodas anymore. But I'll have one today. Maybe I'll have one every September 1st. And I'll see you guys next time. You be good to each other. Costs nothing to be nice. I think I've got my sound problem figured out. If you might notice, I've got a little guy here on my shirt. My brother had sent me a wireless microphone system. My other mic set up, apparently it was like a little shotgun mic that I had mounted on my camera gimbal, and it sounded great, but I've just been having nothing but problems with that thing here lately. So I decided to try out this little Boya, B-O-Y-A wireless mic, and the sound quality is decent. I mean, it's not quite as high quality as that shotgun mic was, but it's pretty good. And my little brother Chris sent it to me for free, and I had almost forgotten about it. It's working. So I've got a solution to my problem, so I should be able to shoot some more videos here. Y'all be good to each other. Treat each other right. Try and have a good time. Try and do the thing, man. Just do the thing and be out there and keep making it. Keep on trucking. Keep on. You just got to keep living, man. Living. I'll see you next time. Bye.